35192, want to send a text? They dropped that list again of what LA lifeguards make. I feel like we've talked about this in years
like
past.
$100,000 or something, right?
Of what?
Weren't they making like real good money?
$510,000 is what the top paid lifeguard in LA County made last year between base pay and overtime and other pay, and they include benefits. Daniel Douglas is the highest paid lifeguard in LA County. He made $510,283.
How many lives did he guard?
He guarded a lot of lives.
Nice.
Imagine, there are thousands of lifeguards in LA County. Imagine you're like the top guy.
You're the...
What does he look like?
The Mitch, right? What was his name?
Mitch Buchanan. Right? David Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
The Hoff.
Because I'm sure if he's good looking, he's like, listen, this is probably more lucrative for me than if I were to become like an actor.
But it's become even more lucrative because a couple of years ago, probably 2-3 years ago, last time we talked about this, the top guy made about $390,000.
That's so...
This new guy, the lifeguard captain is his title. The top 10 highest paid lifeguards in LA County. Number 10 made $337,000.
It's unreal.
After 30 years of service, now, I don't know if you want the lifeguard who's 55, 60 years old.
Breathing all in you.
They can retire as young as 55 and make 79% of their pay.
Jeez.
There's like lifeguard pensions out there. That
awesome.
is crazy.
Good for them.
Thousands of... There needs to be that many lifeguards just in LA County?
Well, they're on the ocean. Yeah.
So?
There's a lot of beaches. The second, third, and fourth highest paid lifeguards made no overtime and still got paid over $400,000. I don't know what other pay constitutes. One guy made $129,000 in other pay.
Bonuses?
And then they include your benefits. But holy cow.
Yeah, the benefits are probably pretty... making up a lot of that, or not a lot, but like
it is, but still
a pretty decent percentage if you have a 401k and you have health insurance out in LA. Can't be cheap.
37 lifeguards made between $50,000 and $250,000 in overtime alone. Yeah. So imagine you're just a lifeguard out there kicking it in LA. You're like, man, he's got a nice place. Mm-hmm. You're single. You know, probably a bunch of gay dudes in there living with other guys, no kids.
Sure.
Double income.
Dinking it up.
Dinking it up. Now the top 10 are all guys, so make of that what you will. Only 2 of the top 20 highest earners were women. Virginia Roop made $307,000, and Lauren Dale, an ocean lifeguard specialist. You got to be a captain. You got to be a specialist. Again, I don't know what the strata of lifeguards are, but you know, it's like you're in the C-suite. It's like you're a tech guy or something, but you're just saving people. And that's if you get to save somebody.
Maybe that's what other pay is.
You're just sitting in that bird's nest making $500,000 a year.
You're doing most of your work with your whistle.
Yeah.
Just giving warnings. You don't want to have to constantly save people. You want to keep them from needing to be saved.
Do not touch the buoy.
But this has got to be a union gig. Like, there's what city would go, we're paying people $200,000 in overtime? Like, there's firemen and cops that can't get overtime.
Well,
or it doesn't amount to this.
No, but you also have to think like staffing.
The demand.
The demand for it. And there's probably a lot of people that become lifeguards and they go, they're not making that much money, so it's probably a really flaky business. Which is why they have to have so much overtime.
Everyone who goes out there, even down to like the police officers, probably wanted to be like an actor or something. And they're like, well, I'll just do this job until...
And it's a much more demanding regimen, I'm guessing, because... those are rough waters, so you can't just be an okay swimmer.
Oh, no, I'm sure
you have to be very good.
Listen, even if you made half that, like you're earning whatever money you make, but there's a lot of people earning their money, working hard, and LA is full of hot people from other places who thought they'd get famous and didn't. So
but doesn't mean they know how to swim well.
Every normal job out there is hot people, right? I don't mean waiters, like... secretaries, firemen, everybody
CVS
who went out
employees.
there. Huh?
CVS employees. People just stocking shelves.
Yeah, go to a Dwayne Reed. You'll see the hottest girl you've ever seen working there because Didn't work out in the movie biz. Or they're still working at it or
Yeah.
whatever. But conversely, what's funny is like public pools everywhere else don't have enough people. Like the pool out where we live is a nice public pool, but they're understaffed. There's a nationwide lifeguard shortage. And a lot of these places, you know, it's teenagers that are completely staffing these. So it's not inconceivable. You walk up and you see a sign. It's literally like pool closed, cheerleading practice, like a handwritten sign. Yeah, all the lifeguards are cheerleaders. All the people who work here are teenagers. They all got stuff to do. Pool's not open because we don't have enough people. Austin, Texas is going to have 50% of its city pools open. They don't have enough people to work them.
That's a bummer, too.
And Austin is a hot city,
hot.
boy. Oh, my God. They've only been able to hire 30% of the lifeguards that they need citywide. Milwaukee is going to have...
Nobody wants to work anymore.
Milwaukee's hired 56 of the 300 lifeguards they would need to keep all the city pools open. Indiana, Colorado, Pennsylvania, all looking at understaffed public pools.
That's why it's nice to have my pool where it's swim at your own risk.
Yeah,
right. Anybody.
There's no one around.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swim at your own. It's on the
That's
roof,
what it says.
or it's behind the building.
It's behind the building. And it just says, you follow these rules, swim at your own risk. We recommend not swimming alone, but yeah.
The director of the American Lifeguard Association says it's the worst shortage they've ever seen. They said most of the young people who would normally apply are choosing retail or restaurant jobs that offer higher pay. So there's going to be, so whatever pool you go to might be closed down entirely. Might not be enough people. Pools in Phoenix are offering kids $3,000 signing bonuses just to be a lifeguard.
Damn.
And then pay them $19 an hour.
I was
Not too
looking.
shabby.
I was looking into getting a pool pass, but I feel like you can't have one if you work. Like unless you're going every single weekend, because my ID still says Rocky River. So I was like, I could technically get a Rocky River one, or I live in Berea, I could get a Berea one. But they don't open till like noon or 1 p.m. It's not like these places are open at 10 in the morning.
The one out by us opens, I think, at 10.
Well, the one I think in Rocky River, it's like from 10 to 11:30 is adult swim. So if I were to want to take the kid, I can't even do that until 12 o'clock. I have to go to work at 1. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. But I didn't know if that was like an across the board thing or just the two places I looked. I'm
Listen,
like,
I'll
what the
give you
hell's
a
the point of
deal.
a pool pass?
I'll give you a key and a fob. You pay me half of what you would be paying Rocky River, not Berea.
There you go.
And we'll make it happen.
Make it happen.
Get a Squifle Tower pool pass.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to pass the swim test.
The sign says, welcome to our ool.
Someone took the pee.
There's no pee in it. Let's keep it that way.
Oh, there's pee.
Oh, especially when he's in there.
He's not getting out.
About 4 White Claws deep.
Oh, no.
Gross.
That's just so much work to get out of a pool when you're like,
It's zero
When you're
work to
vibing?
get out of a pool.
not when you're vibing.
When you're vibing.
You got your
Pee
white
adds to
claw.
the vibe.
Yeah, you got the music playing. You got your
I pay for
sunglasses
those
down.
chemicals for a reason.
Yeah, you got a white claw. You're just there. You're like, I
Oh,
could
so
get
you're
out.
testing the chemicals. You're like, let's see if I'm getting my money's worth.
I got a pretty high HOA. I'm getting my money's worth.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I have come to that
get peed in,
realization that everyone's peeing in the pool.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I'm just saying it's not. There's zero effort to get out of the pool.
You got to get out of the pool, then
then
you're
you're
all
all
heavy,
wet.
and then you
Yeah,
got to
you have
dry
to-
You know
off.
you're wet in the pool,
But
right?
you're not sitting on a well, I guess you guys don't
Then
have
you
to
got-
sit, but you're
you
like
have to
sitting
go
on a
all the way
toilet seat
upstairs.
wet.
We don't have an outside bathroom, so you have to go all the way up to my
Yeah, man.
condo to pee.
Oh, I see. You'd have to go all the way up to the ninth floor.
I'm letting it rip. Better make sure I don't
But
fart.
And I-
okay,
and
but
no-
be
no
hon-
judgment from me.
But be honest. Even if there was a porta potty just outside the pool, you'd still go in the pool.
Probably.
Not as much.
Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah,
would,
you
but you
would.
would.
Yeah,
I would like every once in a while I'd go to the porta potty just like
for
for
optics?
appearances. Yeah.
Because then it would be obvious because everyone would be like, wow, he really is just sitting in here peeing in the pool. I don't want to sit next to him. So you go,
Good. I don't want people. I want the pool to myself. I don't need other people in there.
So if you're in the pool for 4 hours,
So that's your way of keeping people at a distance. They come over and you
Why is it warm than cold?
right. You assume that there's a whiz radius. Yeah.
Found
Okay.
a warm spot. What?
it's hard when you're vibing. You can't be doing that. You can't just be getting out every 20 minutes to go pee. That's silly.
Well, I don't
20
have-
minutes?
I don't
How
have
much
an
are you
enlarged
drinking?
Prostate. What are you
20
talking?
minutes?
Every 20 minutes you gotta pee?
No, not every. But I'm saying if you're drinking,
Well,
and
I'm not getting blind drunk in the pool.
when we
By yourself.
when we had my pool like at Gay Bay, dude, that was an entire vibe. And granted,
Yeah, I'm not
my
getting
porch
that
was-
drunk. I'm just having like maybe a drink an hour. Like I'm not trying to
I'll,
get.
I'll kill like 6 White Claws.
No,
In
man,
an
I'm not-
hour?
Yeah, if I'm vibing, yeah.
So you're drinking to get drunk.
Yeah, in the day, yeah, you're just laying out. You got the music playing. You might order a little something, and you just have it sitting on the side of the pool. So you just sit there, eat. Yeah, it was a whole thing.
It's not about the pool for him. It's about the food and the drinks.
And then the pictures that you take to make other people jealous who don't have a pool. And I don't want to get out of the pool for them.
I posted one of my feet, and people are like, "Oh, giving Mary a run for her money," and I was like, "No, my foot pics are free. I'm not trying to
He's not greedy.
get anybody."
He knows what he's
but
worth.
Someone emailed, or they messaged to go, "Where do I send my email? SquireToes@gmail.com."
Yeah, there you go. Squire toes at Gmail. Santora toes.
Got to get that Cedar Point pass, son.
Good weekend though. I jumped in the pool on, even though Friday wasn't hot, it was the first day it was open, so I'm like, just out of principle, I'm jumping in this pool today.
Is it freezing?
It's a heated pool, so the water was warm, but getting out was cold.
Yeah.
So
We stayed in a couple hotels because we stayed over in Michigan after my daughter's high school graduation, and then we had another hotel when we got to Chicago. And and my daughter always wants to go swimming, and I don't really care, but I go, okay, we'll go down for a little bit. The pool in the hotel we stayed at in Michigan, it was the warmest pool I'd ever been in my life.
92
Because there's like
degrees.
that shock when you first get in and then you get acclimated to it. It felt like getting into a still hot tub.
Yeah.
It was like getting into a womb or bath water. I was like,
Dude,
oh
I
my
don't
God.
mess with hotel pools, man. I've learned my lesson like 4
We were the only
UTIs
ones
ago.
in there.
Doesn't matter. You didn't get a yeast infection or UTI or something. Bill got his.
Yeah.
You got all kinds of sick the last time you ran up.
But he was in a hot tub. He was in
no
some
different.
human frap with like 3 other people. And
Grandma's.
yeah, but they
we
got
were in there
later.
first thing. We were in there
yeah.
first thing in the morning. We were the only ones in there. So
Yeah.
My brother, anytime that he doesn't, my MAGA brother, he doesn't like staying at anybody's house. He wants to stay at a hotel because his kids like pools too. So he tries to find a hotel with a pool so the kids can go swimming. I'm like, dude,
And wear themselves out. Yeah.
you get sick.
no, we've never had any issues.
Good.
And that's the only time I've ever gotten hot tub sick. And I was also performing in, winter
In the
around
hot
a bunch
tub?
of people. So could have been from something else too. Doesn't necessarily mean it was the hot tub that got me sick. That was just our theory.
That was the working narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Another message off the talkback button there on the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, Alan, hate the show. Cody was mentioning guys who would leave turds in the toilet when he was in school. Well, I'm 25, not much younger than him. So in the 7th grade, I walked into the bathroom, and there was an 8th grader in there. And this guy goes, hey, man, take a look at this. And he pushed open the stall door, and kid you not, there was a turd on the ground the size of a redwood. And I don't know if this guy swallowed over the ground and just took a dump, or he pulled it out of the toilet with his bare hand. Nevertheless, it was disgusting.
Yeah, he ran out of time there. The size of a redwood.
Jeez.
That guy said he's 25. He sounds like he is a 52-year-old construction worker.
Oh, really? I didn't get that.
Sound
No.
old to you?
No, he sounded like he had a good voice, but I mean, Some people, by the way, are really nailing this talkback thing. And other people are talking to me like they're in the back seat of their own car while they're, just, that's fine. And I appreciate all the messages, but if I can't hear you, I can't play you.
It's got the playback button, right? So you can hear what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think some people just kind of hit it and quit it, and that's fine, but I can't, I'll tell you what, though, while we were gone, and we were gone for 5 days, an extended holiday weekend, easily 95% of the talkback messages I got were Team Alan on the ChickFilA thing.
Oh, whatever.
And I was like, okay.
I forgot what you said. What did you say?
I said
it's not that good.
I said Chick-fil-A is just okay.
Oh,
I didn't say it was bad. I said that this
again.
heightened hype over it
I
is
like that
nonsense.
you can give statistics that nobody can verify.
Like what?
Like 95% of them agreed with you. We'll never know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
Well, I have no reason to lie. I mean,
Yeah, you do.
No, because normally
To fit your narrative.
Yeah.
Normally, my narrative. Shut up, this guy over
Fake
here.
liberal
Narrative.
news over here.
Most
Liberal
people,
mainstream media over here.
most people disagree with me in larger numbers. They're like, Alan, you're a douche.
But
Shut
again,
up.
what
You know,
we
especially with food.
What we were not.
People think I'm
taking,
a freak when I know you say because people are lying to themselves. They are. They're sitting there in line.
I can't see.
They're sitting there in line, going, no,
don't-
this is so good.
I disagree with the people are lying to themselves part.
I know you do.
I
Nevertheless,
disagree
I
with
think
all of
it's
I'm
an
still
okay.
correct.
It's a good chicken sandwich. It's better than okay.
well,
It's
then let's keep it at that because nobody was messaging me to say existential,
lying. Yeah.
whatever. They were saying yes, it's just okay, and that's all I was saying. It's just okay.
But
Good
then you
enough
went
to
on
go against
say-
my own tribe for.
What's that?
I think that's because you were kind of a self.
Dude, you're doing
gay
shtick
anyway.
too. Yeah, I mean, like you're doing a bit. I mean, but I want to taste the hate. I
I
mean,
like to get them riled up.
right? You do.
That's like I have a friend and she hooks up with guys, and she's like, "Why do these guys all treat me bad?" I'm like, "Because you're hooking up with guys because they treat you bad. That's what you're into." And she's like, "Well, I don't want that all the time." I'm like, "Well, then stop going out with those guys. I'm very tired of
She's
you."
into guys treating her badly.
She because all she wants a very specific type of guy, and
But douche, like a
kind
crypto
of,
bro.
yeah.
Or, oh,
like
okay.
I don't know. She talks about guys that are like not into what she's into politically. Like she's far left, they're far right, and then they treat her, not well, but the sex is good or whatever. So she's like, "Oh, but it's." I'm like, you got to make a trade off then. But there are good guys that will treat you well, but you're just not into those guys. And she just like, "But I don't want-" I'm like,
Well, and if you're going for quantity over quality, I mean, it takes a little bit. It takes more time to sift through and find a guy who is good to you and is good in the sex.
yes. And it also takes some self-worth to understand that you're worthy of being loved. I mean, how many people do we all know that keep going back to toxic relationships because they just don't want to put the work in to fix anything about themselves or I don't even know how to put it. But we all know people like that just go.
A lot of people like the
Zero
drama.
People.
Some people need the drama.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And they'll deny it, but they need it clearly. You look at the track record, you're like, all right, that's your thing. Like, you really, really like that. And that's fine. I mean, whatever works for you, but then don't complain all the time that things are too dramatic.
Part of what they like is being able to complain about it, and then they.
Well, that's silly.
It's silly and it's tiresome where someone's saying the same thing again and again. It's like, okay, you can change this, but you're not going to. So if you're not going to change it, then please stop talking about it. Because I'm tired of hearing how this guy's so mean to you, and then you go back to him, and then you want him to change, but you're not.
Sometimes
gonna walk away.
to them, the sex is worth it.
Are you talking about me in 2018? That's exactly what I did for 2 straight years.
I mean, there's a lot of people that do that.
Yeah.
So
The
it's-
general Marys, not just
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of Marys out there. That's why you're so relatable.
I guess maybe it's more from the female perspective. My thought was always, are there that few dudes who know what to do in the
Yes,
sack?
we've been over
Yes.
this 100 times. Yes.
How can that be?
I had a girlfriend
Just-
who didn't even
'cause
have an
it's lazy.
orgasm until she was 38. I'm not kidding. Dudes
Yeah, but a lot of times,
awful in
well,
bed. They're
but
awful.
That's a different thing altogether.
They're awful.
There are guys who are awful in bed. Girls not having orgasms, that can be in a different pile.
I mean,
There are some guys who are probably really good at whatever they're doing. She might not be getting off.
Maybe, but 90% of the time, guys are selfish. They don't know what they're doing, or they don't care enough to put the time in.
Well,
or
now
they're
you're just rolling out statistics
they're
that we can't
just-
verify now.
Actually,
I'm
we
giving it
can't
to you.
verify
Yeah, every single A lot of you can, actually.
Actually, Mary's got a large enough sample size.
Dude, please. Over 100 men polled.
POLED.
And they all got off. They got pulled off.
100% of the time. Right.
No, that's what it is. Or like if you're in a casual dating scenario, they don't care. Like you said, they don't
wild.
care enough to put the time in because they're like, whatever. This is our third date. I'm not really that into you, but we're going to hook up and I don't have to talk to you again after this.
Really?
Yes.
So sad.
Yes.
Huh.
It is sad.
But some people, it sounds like they keep going back.
Well, because then you find a good one, but they're a douche. I was
You find a good one. Oh, good in the sack.
Good in
you
bed,
mean.
yeah.
Oh.
And they're good for a reason.
You start ignoring all kinds of other red flags, like he doesn't have a bed.
He just has a mattress on the floor.
We're just doing it on the floor all the time.
That'd be the
The
best
kitchen
sex.
floor.
I sympathize with Mary because I've been in this exact scenario.
Yeah, but you put yourself in all your scenarios.
But he's also sleeping with men. You guys aren't sleeping with men.
You don't know us.
Tell me what I'm doing.
If they slept with women, they would understand.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna tell me how to live.
All right.
From what I've learned is liberal sex, too inconsistent. Conservative sex, always
It's
good.
almost always
That's
good.
basically my one friend.
Conservative sex is
She's
pretty good.
just girl Poundcake, where
It
she
is.
will cross the political lines for the good sex.
Because the liberal guys are too worried about her feelings.
I don't know what it is, but
Oh.
she says the sex is great, but then they
The
treat her,
conversation,
The
they don't
ideology
talk
is
to you.
completely different.
We have nothing in common.
Well, I guess there's trade-offs, right? Huh. Well, no, listen, everybody has done that with somebody where they didn't have anything in common. It's the continuing to do that always fascinates me.
But it's
right?
addicting. That's why.
Is
Because
it?
then you go around and you're like, man, everybody else sucks.
Yeah.
Huh.
After you have, you
Damn
just
it.
need one really good time. You need
Maybe
to be
you
like.
guys are bad at sex.
We're not.
bad at sex.
Well, I meant to say I'm not, but I don't know
In unison. We're not.
because I know.
Well, I'll take you at your word.
Well, people they also want to have sex with me too, so it's not. It takes two to tango, homeboy.
Right, but also, you and Mary are not equal because
Correct.
guys are getting off.
Yeah.
So if there's two guys, you're both getting off.
Right.
She's got a higher, hill to climb
Higher
in that
stakes,
regard.
yeah.
Okay.
Right? I mean,
Yes.
you are both having
And that's
sex
what
with
I'm
men,
telling
but
you.
it's two very different
Yeah,
scenarios.
he's still a guy too.
But
Right.
Poundcake's still.
Everybody's getting off in his scenarios.
Correct.
Yes, but I think mine's even harder
Here we
because
go.
men have
There you
to.
go.
Inequality
Tell
of
me
the
why-
sexes.
tell
No
me
one
why
knows.
gay-
No one knows.
Because if
the
someone sleeps with
trouble between
Mary-
the sexes like a gay man.
If a guy sleeps with Mary, it's no big deal. But if a straight guy sleeps with me, he has to sneak around. He has to.
Are we just devaluing my vagina?
No, I'm not.
If a guy sleeps with Mary, it's
No.
like another romp in
He's
the
just
sack.
saying if someone sleeps with you, it's not a secret.
Yeah, it's not a
telling
secret.
people in the elevator.
If they sleep with me, they're going against their religion. They're going against
but you're,
humanity. They're going
but
against their wife.
you're adding an extraneous variable in that.
But they have to go-
straight guys on the DL. That's your thing.
But that's the thing,
Those
but-
guys go to you and you accommodate them. I'm just talking about gay dudes.
But my whole
where
thing
everything's
is-
above board. Everybody's getting off.
But I know I'm good.
You're
because
throwing in the sneaking around.
They think I'm
because that's
worth
what-
it.
Well, that's not the point. You're throwing in the sneaking around, which is not like necessarily part and parcel of that scenario.
It's the build up. It's like the storyline of the
build-up.
porn.
Now, to a
Those are
certain
always
degree,
important.
I will agree with him because a few times that I was going back to a dude that was the sex was so good.
But he wasn't
Hold on.
secretly gay.
He was secretly with a girlfriend. Twice I've been the other woman and found out about it.
Still, you're still in a heterosexual situation. He's talking about air quotes, straight dudes who are like, I don't want anybody to find out. That's a
Yeah.
whole other thing.
Like I might die. I might get shot. Ooh.
Right. That's the excitement of maybe getting caught. I might die or get shot. That's the exciting part. I got a break.
What
Hey,
a storyline.
Yeah, I'm going to have Monster Jam passes for you after the break. It's July 2nd, holiday weekend at First Energy Stadium. So if you've never been part of Monster Jam before, it's a good time. I'll get you a couple of tickets coming back. 35192 if you want to text.